In the calm of Holy Week, the only things that break the silence are the sound of prayers and the falling water in the stream. Sarah, a young, devout woman from a farm in rural Louisiana, and her family lived this tradition with respect. Imagine, however, that one night held an encounter with the inexplicable, a veiled sign behind a white dress and black hair at the water's edge. If stories about the supernatural in sacred places, subscribe and share your experience. Prepare to learn about the mystery that someone paid a high price to disrespect. The farm, surrounded by high and lowlands, became a refuge for the silence of Good Friday. Family members and two friendly couples, almost all fervent Catholics, respected the day of contemplation and prayer. But there were exceptions. Jane, an unbaptized woman, incredulous of traditions, decided to swim in the stream right at noon, breaking a silent pact with the faith of those lands. From the top of the porch, Sarah watched Jane standing still, as if mesmerized, looking at something that she herself could not see. Upon returning, Jane revealed she had spotted a woman dressed in white, with long, straight, dark hair, her back to her, muttering inaudible words. The shiver that ran through the farm that night was felt in every sigh, every heavy silence that hung in the air. Dinner, which should have brought rest, was interrupted by a sudden power outage. In the darkness, time seemed to stretch, intensifying the tension. When the lights came back on, Sarah's cousin's hammock was wet without a logical explanation, leaving everyone with the feeling that the invisible was walking among them, provoking more questions than answers. The next day, Jane felt a lancing headache and, frightened, demanded that the family leave the farm. Her husband tried to convince her to stay, worried about the difficult journey. It was only when a friend of Sarah's mother gathered everyone to pray the rosary that the heavy energy seemed to dissipate and Jane began to feel better. Easter Sunday brought the return home, a relief mixed with the feeling of a shared secret. The figure of the woman from the stream never appeared again, and that was the last time the inexplicable manifested itself in that sacred place. The friend who led the prayer reflected that perhaps the apparition was a warning, a lesson for Jane, whose mockery of traditions may have awakened the watchful gaze from beyond. Jane, despite being unbaptized and incredulous, never saw the figure again, but she carries with her a curious reverence for the sign she received. The experience raises profound questions about respect, faith, and the consequences of their absence. On the farm's lands, the balance between the sacred and the profane can be thin and severe. The story of the stream is a reminder that, in cultures marked by faith, a few steps off the path can attract forces we do not understand, reminding us that not every spiritual challenge is visible to the naked eye, and that life lessons can come in the most mysterious and unexpected forms. For Sarah and her family, that episode remained a silent memory, a story that sees the boundary between the respectable and the profane on the very ground where they cultivated their faith and tradition. A mystery that shows that even when it seems there are no more signs, the invisible is always lurking. If this story touched you, whether by faith, mystery, or dread, share your opinion and experiences in the comments. Subscribe and hit the bell icon to follow other accounts where the supernatural walks side by side with tradition. Because sometimes a silent sign is the harshest and most necessary lesson for those who dare to disrespect the sacred.